Back when I was in college, like my last year, senior, like the last semester, I went through this really crazy darkness. And I never had ever felt depressed or like I was such a joyful kid growing up. And I feel like everyone, like my nickname growing up was Smiley because I was always smiling. And I just always had this joy in me, but I didn't know where it came from. It was just part of me. And then senior year of college, I don't know what triggered it, but something happened where I didn't feel God. And I didn't know what that felt like because I always felt God there. It was like something that was just like, I felt him. I was really trying to get my faith back. And obviously I was going to mass, but it wasn't the same. Like as growing up, it was so strong.
Okay.
I found out about this place called Medjugorje, and I remember thinking like, I have to go there. And it's a place in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and there's a small village there where during like in the 80s, there was 6 children who saw the Virgin Mary. And when I learned about Medjugorje, it was in 2015. So 2009 to 2015, I was struggling.
Wow, that's a long time to be in that darkness.
It was, but the 3 months was my biggest darkness. Obviously, I was functioning. I was like doing my work and doing stuff. But I even remember my sister calling, being like, while I was working for myself, I was my own boss. And I remember her calling, being like, Cimela, I'm going to daily mass if you want to meet me. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm okay. Like, that's so crazy now when I look back, because daily mass is what keeps me going. But I just remember that's where I was. I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna, keep editing. And whenever I learned about Medjugorje, it's like this light came on. I was like, wait, our Blessed Mother is here today. Because I grew up with Guadalupe and Lourdes and Fatima and like all of these things that happened in the past.
Yeah.
But I was like, no way. I was so skeptical. And the whole reason I found out about Medjugorje was because my friend Eduardo said there's this movie playing, and it's only playing in one theater at this time. And it was like 11 p.m. showing in some sketchy theater in Houston. And he was like, I think you're going to like this movie. It's about our Blessed Mother. And I was like, I just remember thinking like, maybe I'll take my mom and it'll be a cool little mom and daughter thing. And at the last moment, my mom, she didn't feel good. And she was like, really wanted to go, but she didn't feel good. And somehow I got in the car, I drove myself. I never even go to the movies by myself, but I drove myself to the sketchy theater and watched this movie called Tierra de Maria, which is Mary's Land. And it's half Spanish, half English, and it's about apparitions. And it's a documentary. And at the very end, they talk about this place called Medjugorje where our Blessed Mother is appearing. And the first minutes, I'm like, this is so cheesy. It's a little guy on a Segway, and I was just like, I hate Catholic movies, like so cheesy. But then it got good. Then it was documentary style, where it's like people sharing true stories about their experiences. And I love that. I love when it's just true documentary style. And at the end of the movie, they talk about Medjugorje. And I was like, this is a documentary. Why are they making this up? I thought it was a lie. So after the movie, I go home and I go down a huge rabbit hole of Medjugorje. And I'm up till like 5 a.m. And I'm living with my sister's my roommate. She gets up to go to work and she's like, did you go to sleep? And I was like, Melissa, have you heard about Medjugorje? And she's like, and she was trying to remember if she heard of it. And I was like, this is crazy. In Bosnia-Herzegovina, and had mapped out how far it was from Greece because we go to Greece all the time. And I was like, I have to go there.